Yeah, it's been a while. Just, yeah, couldn't be, yeah, and yeah, things have been, yeah. However, as you can see, we're in need of a shave, quite badly. So what we're using today, alright, I've got a sample of Darkfall by Declaration Grooming. I can't remember who sent me this, I think it might have been Scott Newman. I've got that loaded into one of my bowls. Oud, woods, bit of cannabis. It's dark woods, it's a lovely scent, good for the winter. So that's the soap. Brush, RazoRock 400, aluminium with the black plisson handle. The razor, eeny meeny miny mo, go for this one. Second option was that one, first option was that one. Same razor head, different styles. That's the Camisori, that's the folding, that's the feather folding shavette, which takes the Artist Club blades. There's the blade, there's the razor. To load the blade, the spine is spring loaded. You can see it there, it's just opening up when you depress that part. I'm depressed. And the blade just slides in. There we go, there's the blade loaded. So that's what we're using today. I've had a couple of shaves there with the feather folding in the last week and quite enjoyed them. Been a strange couple of weeks, hasn't it? UK has had 2 Prime Ministers and 2 monarchs. There you go. We'll get the tips wet. The change of Prime Ministers won't be that much of a change. The change of monarch could be. Well, we won't see another Queen for over 100 years probably. So, quite a rare event. The Queen dying, obviously we never have that many because of the hereditary process. But Queen Elizabeth saw, well, she had 15 Prime Ministers through her reign, which is a fair few. She inherited Churchill, not a bad inheritance, some would say. And then the next 15 were appointed, or 14 were appointed and or resigned during the period of her reign. She reigned the country for approximately 1/3 of the time that the United States has been a country. And that gives you some indication as to the length of time. So not only did she see 15 UK Prime Ministers, I haven't researched it, I've heard 2 figures. US Presidents, there were 12 during the time she was monarch. I've also heard there was 14, but we'll stick with 12. That's still quite a good number. So we're not bowl lathering as such, I'm just basically making a lather so I can wet the face. Important part of shaving, get some moisture in there. That'll do, basically get this lot lathered up. Yeah, so 12 US presidents, it's a fair amount of time to be on the throne. Bet many people couldn't even name back that far. without using Google. Obviously Biden, Trump, Obama, Clinton, Reagan, Jimmy Carter, Ford, Nixon. At that point, I'm done and I'm out. I'm sure I saw this suitcase has been re-released. It's a seasonal scent. It's a lovely scent, good scent strength as well. And this is in, I believe, what they call the Icarus base. What that is, I ain't got a clue. I thought Icarus was a horse that flew too close to the sun and got its wings burnt. And I felt, oh, yeah. Winter's coming. This weekend was the first weekend since April I've worn trousers on the golf course. The rest of the time I just walk around with me knob out. You know, I've been wearing shorts. But this weekend was the first weekend since April. We've required or needed trousers. Temperature in single figures with well, yesterday was like 30 mile an hour winds. It was pretty bloody cold. One advantage about letting the beard grow so long is you can see your hair grow superbly, so you can work out what your strokes are. Another thing I enjoy about using shavettes that take replaceable blades is between shaves you can have a practice shave with a little blade in it to refine your strokes and technique. So I'll just get a bit of heat in that blade. Doesn't taste too bad, but it tastes as good as the coffee. Bit of a change in it. Gets rid of a few days growth and a few strokes quite easily. Oh, it's a Feather Pro, by the way. A Feather Pro SE blade. It's had a few uses. I can't remember how many. Anyhow, back to the Queen. In 1986, as a young teenager, an old teenager, 19, I walked into a careers information office for the military, and a few months later I swore allegiance to Queen and country. That also includes heirs and everything else in case the Queen dies, obviously. It's an all-encompassing oath. I met the Queen, didn't meet the time, never met her personally. Worked a few jobs where she was there and present. So basically, if you're like 75, you don't know another monarch in the UK. That's why it's been, had the impact it has. The only thing I would say about shavettes is they're nowhere near as forgiving as a straight edge, straight razor, in my opinion. You can have a really sharp straight razor, it'll be fine, but this will be even sharper. Right. Teaspoon water into the bowl. There's a bowl of lather. If you find your lather's drying out, instead of using just dumping water in, find like the teaspoon, half teaspoon measures ideal, because it gives you, it lets you add water in a very controlled manner, so you can have a teaspoon at a time, half a teaspoon at a time. Scents lovely on this. So yeah, it's been a thrill 2 weeks really. Well, almost 2 weeks since she died, 10 days. I'm not an expert in using these. If you want to see somebody that is, go watch Matty Lindo, Dave Card, one of Dave Card's videos. Fair. or Johan's got his own way of shaving. Didn't mean that lastly. But Johan's technique is not what you call regular. I found the soul patch quite testing, shall we say. Waits for blood. That's not bad. Just thought the edge got too steep. That's only a bit of claret. Never killed anybody. Little starfish goes just about there. Goes in like 5 different directions. Balm. I know I've got some. I've seen your hand do this. So I've got an alum block that cracked, so I ground it up. So I'm just going to dip my fingers in it, swirl it around. Oh yes. Yeah, the alum trick really works. Really, apart from it's an aspect of shaving that the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And it's an aspect of shaving you either like or you will loathe. However, face wash. A little bit of cold water. That's basically going to be the start of the post shave. He says, having nothing else ready or sorted out. Back in a tick. Can't beat proper preparation, can you? Didn't do any today. Slip of coffee, I'm gonna take. So, yeah, there's still soap lying around. So the alum powder, let's say it's a part of an alum block that smashed, so I ground it up with a mortar and pestle. So if you're getting deep cuts, you can just whack it straight in and just stop the bleeding. It stings like buggery, but it works. So I've got a little bit of, I'm not going to shoot a line with a fibre, you're okay. A little bit of alum. A little bit of cold water, and I'm literally just going to make a little face rub. It's negated most of the blood. You can certainly feel it tightening the skin. So next got some witch hazel, which is boots, tea tree and witch hazel. We'll give that a slurp. Give that a chance to go off. And we'll take the blade out of the razor. So the blade's still in the razor, so you can fanny about pushing the the hinge, trying to get it out without slicing your finger off. Or alternatively, you just push the hinge and slide, and you find that the razor comes into two pieces, generally with the blade in it. So that's how the feathers work. You see there's a spring, compression spring on that side, nothing on that side. There are two pivot posts. There's two indents in there. When you slide them together, after you've dried it off, that's that half dry. I've got a couple of straights, but I'm shit at stropping. I even managed to bugger one, the edge, just by stropping it. So to put it back together, you literally just put the pieces together, so in that sort of angle, press the hinge and then push them together. There you go, there's your razor back together, cleaned and dried. And unlike some of the antique stuff you see people using, this stuff's pretty robust really. Stainless steel and plastic. So there we go, there's the feather. SS folding. There's also the DX. I don't know if you can see in the profile of the blade, this has got a round over to tighten the skin. The DX doesn't have that, it's more of a sharper straight razor. Which Hazel's done its stuff. Going with L'Oreal Barber Club reinforcing aftershave balm. He says reading it in the mirror down here backwards. This is cedarwood, so it's a bit woody. It'll go with the Darkfall quite nicely because I don't have the matching splash. With winter sample. There we go. Shave done. So, grooming department Darkfall. No, sorry, decoration grooming Darkfall. Grooming department's a different company altogether. You dick. Giles shaving coffee cup type bowl, saying that if you had your coffee and something that big you'd be pissing like an elephant. RazoRock 400 stock as it is, with a black plisson synthetic knot, aluminium handle. I really enjoy like the Barber's type brushes. Feather Pro on its, yeah, it's had it's done a few shaves, that one, and it continues to work pretty well. The Artist Club folding razor from Feather, cracking. If you want to get into shavettes, they aren't cheap, it'll last you a lifetime. Two versions available, the folding or the Kamasuri. Even though for a lot of that shave I was holding that as a Kamasuri, so. The alum powder did its job, lovely. He says clicking the box back together. Yeah, it looks like cocaine, but it worked quite well and did its job. Apart from that, my alum sticks somewhere over there. We polished off with boots, tea tree witch hazel and balm. That's it folks, we are done. Thank you for watching. The next one might not be 2 weeks away, we'll see. I just had no inclination to do a video last weekend with the events that were taking place in the country. So sometimes it's just nice to sit and watch history go by as it is. Anyhow, we're done. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.